Good morning, dear students. I'm audible.
Good morning, sir. Audible.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, welcome to online OMDP session. As we are there in the module 3 now. So, discussion with respect to the overview of analysis. And in this perspective, we have already completed domain class model. No, domain models is already over. The next one is application model. So, from today onwards, I am going to handle application model. So about this application modeling, what are the aspects which comes under the application modeling? So all these things we are going to discuss. Application model, it resembles the concept of computer domain. So design issues, how to design the given models using the application of computers. So all these things we are going to consider in the application modeling. Okay, so I am going to just to share the PDF, dear students. You can go through it. Yes, dear students, can you see the application analysis
Yes, sir.
video? It is visible?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Fine. So application analysis, in this context, we have to discuss related to the concept under this application analysis, which includes, okay, in particularly application interaction models. See, if you consider domain models, so in domain models, we have considered a domain analysis, we have considered a domain class model, domain state model, and domain interaction model. Similarly, in case of application modeling, we have once again application interaction model, application class model, and application state model. So then we have some other concepts like adding operations and nothing but the overview of system design and performance estimation. Next, we have making a reusability plan, means how to use a system using generalization or inheritance, how to decompose a given system into subsystems, that is called as a breaking a system into subsystems. Identify if there is any kind of parallel activities like the concurrency, and allocation of the subsystems and management of the data. And we have conditions and trade-off between the priorities, and of course some of the architectures what we are going to follow, and particularly in the development of the ATM case study. All these things we are going to consider. Fine. Now, what about this application analysis? So, what is this application analysis? Let us find out. So, under this application analysis, we have application interaction model. The first category of model is the application interaction model. Once we complete the application interaction model, we can discuss application interaction model. And final events, because we have to find out events. No, so this comes under your state models. So next, prepare normal scenarios. means the textual information. Next, add variation and exception scenarios. If something which is extraordinary, which is not there in the normal cases, so those things have to be also identified. And find external events, means outside stimulus and all those things. Next, we have prepare activity diagram for complex use cases. Means if you have any use cases diagram, if it is very, very complex, it is not so easy to understand, then you can convert these complex use cases into appropriate activity diagrams also. Next, organize the actors and use cases. Organize means separate them. Rearrangement of different type of actors and as well as use cases. Next, check against the domain class model. So everything has to be correct now. So that is why we will verify at the end with a class model also. So we will discuss all these things one by one. The first one is determine the system boundary. Means what is the outer circumference, what we have to do and what we should not do. So determine what the system includes. Means if you want to develop any interaction model, in particularly application interaction model, you should be clear with what a system must include and what the system should not include. What should be omitted, what should not be considered, what should be considered, like that. Okay. So treat the system as a black box. Means everything comes in, which never goes out. So for example, if you consider an ATM, once again we will take the common example of ATM. So for this chapter, so focus on ATM behavior and ignore the cashier details. So why ATM behavior will be considered and why we have to ignore the cashier details here? Because so what is actually a ATM? It is nothing but a automatic teller machine which replaces a human being who can be a cashier. Because if you want to avoid the crowd in front of a bank, okay, so the machine has to do the same task what a cashier is going to do. So in this aspect, we have to only consider the aspects of the information or data which belongs to ATM only, not with the perspective of cashier, because cashier is an existing or a legacy system which is already there. Okay. Yes. I have admitted. The next one, we have to always consider the behavior of the ATM machine, not a cashier, because the cashier is a legacy concept. Okay. So next, once you identify the boundary, the next one is identify the users in the form of actors. What kind of actors we have to we are going to deploy. Okay. Next, that is the external objects that interact directly with the system, because who are the actors? If you consider ATM as a machine, ATM is a system, then an actor is a someone who comes from outside, isn't it? He never belongs to the system. So he is considered as an external object because he does not belong to the actual system. And he will directly interact with the next. They are not under the control of the application. See. When an actor comes, we cannot impose any restrictions or any conditions telling that only SBI customers are allowed, Canara Bank customers are not allowed. Okay, or those persons who are, 18 restrictions like that. Okay, so we don't have any control on the application. So that is one of the important. Right? Next, not individual but artificial behavior. Smoothly. Aspects which are not under control. Okay, archetypical behavior means which is not ordinary behavior. So next, ATM examples like we have customer, bank, and consortium. So these are the things which not be considered as a actors, right? And because customer is an actor, of course, ATM if you consider these are the actors actually. Like customer is an actor, bank, because bank is also considered as an actor because one bank can interact with any ATM machines through the communication line. So that is why a bank can be also considered as an actor. Consortium, a collection of a cluster of banks.
Hello, sir.
Ready?
Hello, Madi, sir.
Okay. So all these things will be considered as actors: customer, bank, and consortium. So next one, the third step is find the use cases. Find the use cases means what kind of operations an actor can perform with respect to a system. For each actor, list the different ways in which the actor uses the system. Okay, for example, customer can perform different type of operation with respect to a ATM machine. Number one, a customer can debit some, withdraw some amount. Number two, a customer can change the PIN. Number three, a customer can generate a mini statement. Number four, customer can generate green PIN, like that. Okay, so these are the different ways in which an actor can use the system. Okay, so you have to identify each and every use case separately. So that is the thing. Next, try to keep all the use cases at a similar level of details. We have to normalize all the use cases. We cannot exuberate one use case and the rest of the use cases. We can identify minimum number of details. No, you cannot do like that. If you are using use cases, all the use cases must be uniform, normalized, contains adequate amount of information. Like, for example, if you consider a use case called as a apply for loan, so it should contain some information about the customer, his bank account, his source of income, like that. Similarly, if you consider another use case that withdraw the cash from the savings account, he should have sufficient adequate amount of balance in his account, okay, and it should authorize himself. Next, make withdrawal. So denomination, how much you want to withdraw the money. So there may be some restrictions like for each day, ATM can be 20,000 you cannot. And nowadays a new rule has been imposed, So more than 10,000 if you want to withdraw, the thing will, OTP will be is going to come to your mobile phone. So all these things are some of the which are the ATM. So use case diagram for ATM. Here we have three type of actors. Customer, by default, customer is one person who always makes some transactions, and we have a banking person, and as well as a consortium person. Okay, so a customer, what kind of an interaction or what kind of the use cases he can perform, like initiate a session means when he authorize himself, he will go inside the ATM, he will start some transaction. So this process is called as initiating a session. Means he will insert his debit card, then he will authorize himself by giving a valid PIN. Then that is called as initiating a session. Next, he can also query some account. He just wanted to know how much balance remains in his account. Next, he may process a transaction. He may withdraw some money. Okay, so that is called as a processing a transaction. The same these transactions can be also done by the banking person. The banking person can also initiate a session. A banking person can also query the account belongs to a particular customer. The banking person can also perform a transaction. Suppose a account has been debited, the same thing has to be reflected back to the master account. So the processing a transaction is also one of the responsibility of an actor called as a bank personnel. Next, we have a consortium personnel. Consortium personnel means once again he is another person who is having more authority because this bank comes under our consortium, our cluster. Okay, so this person have the authority in order to perform some of the use cases like initiate a session, yes, query a given account, then process a transaction, and transmit the data. So transmit the data is a one use case which is having a privilege in such a way that only a bank and a consortium person can only do this. So the customer don't have any privilege Okay, no authority to execute the transmit data. So transmit data you want to send some information belongs to a particular customer. So if you go to a bank, you can check information belongs to your account only. You cannot check information belongs to some unknown person or any other customer who is there in the bank. So that privilege is only given for the higher authority or the person who is there, who is responsible inside the bank. So those persons having those kind of authorities. So these are the some of the information. So if you consider initiate session, what kind of activities which are going to happen inside? So the ATM establishes the identity of the user. Okay. So by what we can say, so it makes available account and actions. Okay, so the ATM establishes the identity of the user, means by providing the valid credentials, it is going to identify the users, and it makes available for a account and actions. What kind of actions you can perform? Whether you want to change the PIN, whether you want to debit the amount, if you want to generate PIN, it will give the panel, the dashboard. Okay. Next, querying account. So what kind of internal actions, course of activities which are going to happen inside a course querying a account. Querying ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ? What is a query? Query is nothing but requesting a specific information. So a system provides a general data. Okay, it will always give a general data for with respect to a given account. Okay, when you want to get some information about yourself, your account, so your SP account number, date created, current balance, then the recent transaction details, such as the current balance, date of transactions, and date of making the last transaction or statements. Everything will be there inside a query. Next, process a transaction. What kind of activities happens inside a processing a transaction, so that the ATM system performs an action that affect an account balance, such as a deposit, withdraw. Okay, so the ATM is just it is nothing but some of the operations what we can perform in such a way that it will always reflect the main balance. Suppose if you withdraw the money, so the total money what is available in your account will be deducted by the amount what you have withdrawn. Okay, so that is the main database will be updated with respect to the transaction once you make with respect to the processing a transaction. Next, transmit the data, means the ATM user, okay, or the consortium person have this provision in order to check, in order to have some information about a particular customer or a particular bank, computers, and all those things. So these are some of the things which can happen inside as an activity with respect to a given use cases. Next, the fourth step under this the domain interaction model, application interaction model. The fourth step under application interaction model is finding the initial and the final events of each use case. So event means some course of action. Okay. So what is the first event and what is the last event? In order to identify what kind of behavior a given system can perform, whether it's a normal behavior or it may be some abnormal behavior. For example, sometimes when you enter into the ATM system, it will tell you that system is under maintenance, okay, or insufficient balance, or money is not insufficient money or insufficient funds. So these are some of the abnormal situations. So this kind of behaviors can be clearly considered with respect to initial and final events. Next, execution sequences that occur for each use cases, and initial events may be a request for a service that the use case provides, and B, the second one, an occurrence that triggers a chain of activity, because once you start an event, it is triggered by a series of events, because there may be mutual dependence between one event and another event. For example, if you authenticate yourself with a valid credentials, then only you are allowed to enter our valid denomination amount so that you can withdraw. Okay, so there is a resemblance. There is a what we can say dependency between one event and another event. If one event occurs, second event will also going to occur. If first event fails, the second event is never going to happen. So here he has also given some example here in this case of ATM. Initial session. Initial session means when a person enters the ATM machine cabin and starts to authenticate himself. So that is the initial event, the customer's insertion of a card. The final event is the system keeps the cash card, okay, or the system returns the cash card. First event is you are going to insert the ATM card inside the device. Nowadays, will be immediately you can take back the card, then you can enter the pin. But if you just imagine some old machines, okay, so in those old ATM machines, the ATM card will be preserved inside the machine until and unless you complete your transaction. Once you complete your transaction means if you withdraw your amount, if you collect your cash, and if you collect your statement, then when you say no more transaction required, if you press yes, then the ATM card will be injected. So this is this book is this context is related to those kind of machines. Okay. Next, querying account. So what is if you consider the querying account, what is the initial event and what is the final event? The initial event is a customer requesting some specific account information or data. The final event is the system's delivery of account data to the customer. Okay, so means that whatever the information which belongs to the customer for whom we are making a query will be generated. Similarly, if you consider processing a transaction, what is the initial event and what is the final event? The initial event is nothing but, once again, so you have to initiate some transaction. Either it may be a debit operation. Some of the ATM kiosks they will allow to perform even credit operation also, like corporation bank ATMs. They have facility to deposit the amount also. Okay, so that is what altogether we can call this as a transaction. Next, what is the final event? So committing means you will complete your transaction, you are logging out. So called as a committing. Committing means whatever the data which is temporarily executed, it will be permanently reflected to the secondary storage. And finally, once you complete your transaction, you abort the transaction, means you close, you terminate it. Okay. So that is the information belongs to the events with respect to the process transaction. Next, transmit the data means a bank consortium and as well as the banking person, they have this privilege to transmit the data. Initial event, what is the starting event? Triggered by the customer's request for account data means sometime what happens, the person that is a customer, he don't have any authority to check a given account. So in this scenario, what happens? He will request the higher authority. So I want to just check the details of a particular account. So the request now, it will be redirected to the banking person. The banking person, what they will do, they will see whether if this is a valid person, is an authorized person, he wants to know a particular information belongs to a particular customer. If it is a legitimate transaction, then they will allow. Then only they will allow. That is recovery. This is another event also, like recovery from bank network power or another kind of failures. There may be intermediate or interleaved transactions can also happen sometimes. What happens? You will insert your ATM card. You will give some amount. Okay. So what happens? Still the amount has not been ejected, but the power goes down. So ATM machine will switch off. But what happens? You will get a SMS to your mobile phone telling that amount has been debited. But the amount has not been debited because the system has been halted because of the power failure. After a certain period of time, what happens? The power will come back. So now you have not taken the money, but the money has been debited from your account. So this is called as an interleaved transaction or concurrent access anomalies. I think you have studied all these things in your database. So in this scenario, what happens? You will rush back to your bank manager. You tell that, so I have encountered some kind of situation like I have received a particular SMS telling that some amount has been debited, but actually this is what happened when I visit the ATM machine terminal. So in that scenario, the person will verify whatever the transaction which have been happened. So this type of transactions are called interleaved transactions, partial transactions. So I think ACID properties also you people know in VDLS. That is, ACID means atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. So what is this atomicity? Atomicity tells that either all the transaction has to be executed or none of them. So none of them means if you have not received the amount has to be it has to go back to your account. It has to be credited back to your account. So that is what. So no action means your account, your money goes back to your account. So this is called as atomacy. So that is called recovery techniques. So in these kind of situation, this is a starting event, initial event, and the final event is successful transmission of data. Means either you will get valid information of a particular customer, or if it is a recovery from bank network, your amount will go back to your original balance, and another SMS you will receive that your money has been credited back to your account. So you will be relieved now. So this is what the transmission of data or transmit the data event. So this is the fourth step that is called as a find initial and final events of the application interaction model. Now, if you consider the fifth one, the fifth step under application interaction model. Please be careful. Today I am discussing application models. Under application models, once again there is a classification: application interaction model, application state model, and application class model. So now I am discussing application interaction model. So under this application interaction model, so the fifth step is prepare the normal scenarios. Can anybody tell me what is a scenario? Scenario andre ಏನಪ್ಪ? What is the general meaning of a scenario?
Story.
So, okay, it is nothing but it is a series of or a sequence of steps happening in and represented them in a textual manner rather than in a diagrammatic manner. If you represent the series of activities in a diagrammatic manner, it will become a sequence diagram. On the other hand, if you represent the same aspect in a textual way, it becomes a scenario. Okay. So now, how to prepare the scenarios? So that is one of the, because scenarios also, what is scenario, use case diagram, and sequence diagram. ಇದು ಮೂರು ಕೂಡ ನಿಮಗೆ interaction model ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. That is why I am making all the discussions on this. Got it? Now I am going to discuss how we can generate the scenarios. So for each use case, prepare one or more typical dialogues. So dialogues are ಏನಪ್ಪಾ? So the conversations. Okay, we have to represent everything in the form of English-like sentences. That is using this kind of manner, in this manner. Okay, a scenario is a sequence of events. Sequence is one after the another. Events means some happenings among a set of interacting objects. Okay, so there may be more than one or two objects. These objects, they will exchange the information. Okay, and this exchange of information is nothing but a messages, and these messages having some priority or some numbering that we can easily identify in sequence diagram. But in case of scenarios, it is nothing but just a set of interacting objects, and sometimes the problem statement describes the full interaction sequence. Now consider here the normal ATM scenario, ATM case study. Once again we are going to consider. So same thing, we have 4 aspects here, just like what we have taken. First one is initiate session, query account, process transaction, transmit the data. And for each use case, now you have to find out the scenario. Means find out the scenario for initiating a session, find out a scenario for querying an account, find out a scenario for processing a transaction, and find out the scenario for transmission of data. Now, the first one is initiating a session. So now, you can tell all these things in your own language also. A customer enters ATM terminal. A customer enters ATM chamber. A person who is considered as an actor, that is a customer, is getting inside a ATM machine, like this. You can use your own sentences. Okay? The ATM asks the user to insert a card. Once he enters inside, he will be asked, okay, because some display will be on the machine, welcome to so-and-so bank, to insert your card here. So there is a space where we can insert the magnetic card, your debit card. So the user inserts a cash card. So the cash card, that is the second scenario. Third one, The ATM accepts the cash card and reads the serial number. The magnetic strip is there. It contains some embedded information. So this data will be sensed by the device, and the ATM requests a password. Once it is considered as a legitimate card, next it will ask the customer to authenticate himself, to authorize himself by providing the credentials. Next, the user enters 1234, that is a PIN, and the ATM verifies the password by contacting the consortium and bank. It will check the given PIN in the server, in the database. The ATM displays a menu of accounts and commands. If it is correct, if it is legitimate, he will be given the dashboard. Next, he will make some transactions. The users choose the command to terminate the session. Once he has completed the transaction, he wants to close the transaction, he wants to terminate. ATM points a receipt. Whether you need a receipt, it will ask that, okay, if you need a receipt, and then it will inject the card and ask the user to take it, collect it. The user takes the receipt and the card, the ATM asks the user to insert again. It will go back to the previous state, the initial state. Once again, it will ask you for a new transaction. So this is what the scenario for the initiating. Yeah? Next, query account. So querying account, same thing. You want to have some information belongs to an account. So ATM displays a menu accounts and commands. Next. Of the data, draw the money or you want to deposit the money like that. Okay? So the ATM displays a menu of accounts and commands. The ATM verifies that the withdrawal satisfies the policy limits, whether he has sufficient funds in his account. Okay. Next, ATM dispenses the cash if he has, and he can collect the card and can collect the cash and he can terminate. So this is all about processing a transaction. Similarly, transmit the data. So what is the transmission of data? Means you want to have some information like ATM request account data from the consortium belongs to some particular account. You want to have some information. So consortium accepts this request and forwards to the appropriate bank. Next, the bank services the request and retrieves the desired data, and the bank sends the desired data to the consortium and consortium back to the ATM. So this is nothing but transmission of data or accessing the data through the proper channel. So this is the sixth step that is called as normal ATM scenario. Next, add variations and exceptions. ಈ ಸಿನಾರಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲದು. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು some extraordinary scenario is also there. Abnormal, like special cases antive. That is omitted input, andre maximum values and minimum values. So what happens? Suppose if you have a ATM, only 4 digits PIN will be given. The person may be giving a 5-digit PIN, 3-digit PIN, 2-digit PIN. So that is the maximum or minimum values. Error cases like invalid values, failure or fails to respond. He will insert his card. He never gives ATM a PIN. The machine is waiting for him to insert the PIN. He's just simply waiting. So that is failure to respond. Other cases like help request, status queries. So these are some of the abnormal situations. Okay, if the person is a newcomer, he does not know how to handle the machine, he may request some help. So that is also a exception scenario. Okay. Next, finding external events. So finding external events is nothing but some outside events, okay, which are going to happen with respect to a given machine. The external events like all inputs, decisions, interrupts, interaction to a form from user or external device. What kind of stimulus which can happen from outside world to the ATM machine. We can declare them under external events. An event can trigger effects to target objects, use scenarios for normal events, sequence diagram. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂದ ಏನು ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಆಲ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So ATM machine will continue to be in the passive state until and unless the external object called as an actor will come and interact. So whatever the interaction with respect to the outside world, altogether we can consider them under external events. And all these things will be recorded in the form of a scenario, in the form of a sequence diagram. So now we will convert these scenarios into appropriate sequence diagram. So this is the sequence diagram for the ATM machine. Like a user, when he enters the ATM terminal, he will be displaying a menu where he will choose to withdraw, and he will choose his account, SP account, and he will give the denomination amount also. Now this machine will forward this information to consortium whether he is having sufficient balance in his account. Then the consortium will forward this information to the bank where his database is available. Inside the database, all the information belongs to his account will be there. So it will confirm he has sufficient balance. So this will be given, the same information will be forwarded to the ATM, and adequate amount of money will be dispensed. We will collect the cash. So this is the sequence diagram for processing a transaction. Similarly, we can draw the sequence diagram for other use cases, like we have initiate a session, varying the account, and transmit the data. So I have drawn the use case, sequence diagram only for processing a transaction. So you can do this at your home also. You can try out this. Okay. So this is all about today's discussion. So in the next class, I'm going to take activity diagram. Next class, activity diagram. So if you have any doubts or queries, you can ask dear students. No doubts? Shall we stop here?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Shall we stop there, students?